Hi guys, this is Karina. So I am back with another video tutorial on my template 57. So she is a little sister of my template 38. So today we're going to do template 57, and then I'm also going to have a separate video for my template 38. Now they are the same template style, but just different sizes. So template 57 is the mini version of that template. Which I will have video tutorials again on template 38, which will be two different other style flowers. So today I'm going to show you two different ones with 57, and template 30 I'm going to show you two different ones. But at the end of the day, if you have either one, you could do all those four templates just following the same techniques, because again, they're the same petal shape. I really hope that makes sense. So today I'm going to show you how to make adorable daisies, super simple, along with this, I would say, Dahlia inspired flower. Okay, so we're going to be making this flower today along with a daisy, just showing you how to work with this template. And again, if you have my template 38, apply the same techniques. Obviously the flowers are going to be larger, because for template 38 the flowers roughly will measure around 9 to 18 inches. When I first made that template, that was the original template, I needed a zinnia template. So I'm going to show you the two inspired zinnia flowers that I created with that template. And then I created template 57 because it was highly requested to make her smaller. And then I just started messing around with her, and I said, well, we can make little daisies and small little dahlias as well. Honestly, the zinnia flower that I'm going to show you with template 38 is pretty similar to this one. The only thing we're just omitting the center part. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you what the template looks like. So again, this is going to be a little cutie. So as you can see, they are super small petals. So this will be available in PDF or SVG. PDF just means that you will be able to print it at home and then cut out the template. I would recommend printing it out on cardstock, and then that can be like your own hard copy, and then you would just trace and cut, and then you just make your own petals. Or SVG, that just means your Cricut machine will cut it out for you. Personally, I like to use the Cricut machine for smaller templates, so this is perfect, template 57, just because as you can see, like, look at this petal, it's super tiny, so I can definitely have my Cricut machine cut these petals out for you. For my template 38, it will be available also SVG. Well, she is available in SVG and PDF. Personally, I hand cut with that one just because the petals are pretty big, so stay tuned for that video tutorial on that. That'll be next for you guys. So along with the 9 petals, you're also going to receive 3 bases, and these bases will serve, mainly I use them for the dahlias, okay, or the zinnia flower that I'll show you with template 38. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start off with the dahlia. So I'm going to go ahead and move these out of the way, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so let's talk about the petals you're going to use. But before we begin, I am going to tell you guys which petals I use for these two. So roughly, I always make 3 different sizes because we get 3 different base circles. Okay, so for this little cutie right here, this little paper dahlia inspired, I use the smallest base circle and then the first 4 petals. Okay, so the largest petal is always going to serve as your first 2 layers, and then 1 layer of each. If you have my Dahlia template 71 or 79, it's pretty much the same technique. The only difference is I add another extra petal. With those, I only do 3. With this one, I do 4, but it's pretty much, I follow the same technique pretty much. As for the larger dahlia, I use the larger base, and then I use the largest 4 petals. Okay, so today we're going to make the medium sized dahlia. So we have 1 petal left, which is your 5th petal if you're going from the smallest to largest, and so it's the next one up. And then I'm just going to grab the 6th petal, 7th petal, and 8th petal, omitting the largest petal, and then using the medium base circle. Okay guys, so we're going to need our base, and we're going to start off with the largest petals. So remember, this is going to serve as your first and second layer. The way I'm going to show you how I am assembling this is the way you're going to assemble the other sizes. Along, if you have my templates 38, follow the same techniques. You're going to get your petal. You need something to curl with, so I typically wooden dowel. It's just to help to shape the petal. And then you're going to make a cone. Now I am using cardstock because I always get asked 65-pound weight. You can definitely get away with using text weight paper, but this is cardstock from Michaels. And I'm going to be using my Surebonder mini detailed glue gun. So then you're just going to make a cone, adding glue to the end, and that's it. This is how we are prepping all of our petals. Now, as to how many we're going to need for the first layer, that is going to vary because with this little one, I want to say I used 11, but then for the larger one, I used 16. So it's definitely going to vary on the spacing and obviously the size. So I did make 15, so 15 and 15, I should say that. So pretty much if your first layer, so for example, this one was 11, that meant the second layer was 11. And the same thing with this one, 16, 16. So obviously your first petal, your largest ones, you're going to need more. So I did make 30. I have a feeling we're probably going to use less than that though. So it's always better to have more than less. So we're going to get started. You're going to have little dot of glue, just like that. So again, if you own any of my Dahlia templates or my mom, it's pretty much assembled the same way. And your goal here is to go around in a circle. Don't stress out too much with the spacing. And you're just gonna go around. If you're wondering, for the background, I am using a silicone mat. I like using those, especially when working with dahlias, because the glue does tend to kind of go to the back, as you can see, so it lifts up very easy from the mat. Yeah. And this is all you're going to do. So let me finish up this first layer so I don't bore you, and then I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so it turns out that I did actually use 16, so one more extra for the bottom layer. But if you use less or more, that's perfectly fine. Just follow the same technique. So now that we're done with the first layer, we're going on to the second layer, and this is still the same petal, okay? And then all you're going to do, so if we use 16, the chances are that most likely you will need 16 as well, or maybe one more less. Or two, but pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to go in between the petals and just go around. Okay, so as you can see, I am going in between those first layer petals. Now, occasionally I do jump from this way to this way. It's just what I do. You don't have to do what I do. So pretty much this is it. You're just going to go in between the petals. So let me go ahead and finish this second layer, and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so I am done with that second layer. So it turns out I used 14 petals, okay? So the first layer I did 16, and then we did 14 on the top. But again, if you do more or less, it's fine. It's okay, just follow the same technique. So now we're on to the second size petal, and we are going to repeat the process. You are going to, I like to start off in between a petal. So I'm going to start off between these two right here. And then your goal here is just to go around in a circle. Okay. And that is it. Just go around until you get to this end. So let me go ahead and finish up that third layer, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are done with that third layer, and I did use 9 petals. So now we're on to our third petal. And our goal is the same thing. We are going to fill up this gap. Now, I do recommend a wooden dowel to help you with the gluing, just because the center starts to close in and it's hard to stick your fingers in there. So you just press down lightly. And then, yeah, just glue these around. In a circle. And it doesn't matter if they're not lining up. I have a feeling I may need, well, maybe not. No, I think we're good. So I have one more here, and I think one more fits. Yep. All right, so I am done with the 4th layer. So this was our 3rd petal. So now we are on to our last petal, which is your smallest one. So let me go ahead and prep those because I forgot to prep them, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we are on to our last layer with it, which is our 5th layer, which is our last small petal that we have not used yet. And we're just gonna fill in this circle. So again, get yourself a wooden dowel. I'm actually using a skewer for cooking, you know, when you make kebabs. That's actually what I'm using because it's super thin. And then you're just gonna stick these in that center. You just want to cover her up. Just squeeze them in. I think I can squeeze one more. Let's see if we can squeeze her in. Kind of maneuver her. Ah, gotta get that in there. All right, I think I got it. She was actually, maybe I can squeeze one more. Let me see. Oh, I can. All right, we're gonna stick one more in the center. Hopefully my head is not in the way. All right, I was able to squeeze, so I did use 5. I squeezed 5 in here, and voila, we are all done with the dahlia. So as you can see, super simple, super cute. It is time consuming. I do think so. I think any dahlias are time consuming, but honestly, I think the end results, I think they are definitely worth it. So now that we've done this tutorial, now I'm going to show you the tutorial on how to make these super simple daisies using the same petals. So that's another option for you to create with this template. All right, you guys, so now that I showed you how to do the dahlias, we are going to do now the daisies using the same template. Super simple and easy. And isn't it a cute little combination? I love the look of the dahlias and the daisies. So just a disclaimer that the center will not be included. It is also one of my SVGs, which is my SVG 1 center 1. So I'm going to show you, that is the center I use. Now you can definitely, if you have Cricut Design Space, they have other centers there that you can use. Honestly, this isn't the only one that you have to use. I have used other centers from them. Under the template description, I do have, on my Shopify I do, but on my Etsy I won't, but it doesn't yet, but it will. I'll have the link to my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Ariel Elise Designs. And I do have a lot of video tutorials there under my saved highlight stories. Well, it's actually like picture tutorials, but I do talk on some of them. And I do show you another daisy that I made using a Cricut Design Space center. So if you want to look at that one, you can. I will have it linked below under my description for the template, not here where my template is, okay? It's under the description. So let's go ahead and show you how to make the daisy. So we're going to make the larger one, and I am going to be using the largest petal, and you're going to need 8. So I did 8, but some of them have 7, and then like as you can see, these little cuties, I only did, what did I do? 6. So obviously it's up to you. Pretty much you're just going to follow the same technique as I'm about to show you. It's super simple, you guys. Okay, so let me move these out of the way and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so let me show you how to prep the petals. You are going to fold them in half because you want to create that crease in the center. You're going to need a wooden dowel or something to curl with. Curl the petals back like that. Then you are going to cut in the center just like that. And then we are going to add a dot of glue and cross just like that. Okay, you guys, let's do that again. So we're going to grab our petals. Now I am using 65-pound cardstock. This is from Michael's, but you can definitely get away with text weight paper. So again, you're going to fold in the center, grab something like a wooden dowel or a skewer, grab your scissors, cut in the center, add a small dot of glue, and cross. Okay, so I did 16 petals in total. So the first layer, we're going to have 8. And then the second layer, we are going to do 8. And it's the same petal, you guys. Up to you if you want to use 2 different size petals. You can. Typically, I just do the same petal, just, you know, to make life easy. So let me go ahead and prep all my petals, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now that our petals are prepped, let's grab some. Remember, we're going to need 8 for that first layer. So we're going to go around in a circle. We're using no base. So remember in the Dahlia, we used the small little circles as bases. We are not for this one. We're just going to add a small little dot to the corner. And we're going to glue these. You can, if you want. I have in the past used the bases. I just personally like it this way better. But that tutorial that's on my Instagram highlights stories, I do show you how to use the base. And you're just going to glue these around. I'm only adding a small dot of glue in case if I have to readjust any of the petals. Oh, hold, child. Okay, you guys, sorry about that. My little Eli came in. All right, so we have that first layer of our 8 petals. So now we need to cover that center. So I'm going to go ahead and get the same color. So this is my scraps that I have. So now I'm just going to cut out a circle. Just wing it. You want it large enough to cover up that circle in the center. And then get your next petal. I'm only going to add glue to the left side because we're going to tuck the last one in. And now you're just going to go in between the petals. Super simple. And again, if you wanted the next this layer to be smaller, you could have just gone a petal down. And that's it. As you can see, super duper simple. We're gonna tuck this last one in. So as you can see, this is the first petal that we did, so it's still open, so I tucked this petal underneath. So now I'm just gonna add glue. And voila, we are all done. So now we need our center. So as mentioned, I did use one of my centers, my center SVG1. So again, you don't have to use this center. The center, again, is sold separately. I will have it linked below, but again, if you have the Cricut or Silhouette, I'm sure maybe they have something similar. But this is what it looks like, and I'm going to show you on Cricut Design Space what that looks like. Okay, you guys, so this is what the SVG center looks like. Now, you're only going to receive one of them, okay? So then it'll be your job to duplicate and make as many as you need. So I'm just going to show you how I did this one for this flower that we're doing right now. And then obviously, if your flowers are going to be smaller, then obviously we are just going to have to shrink these down accordingly. And honestly, you guys, I guess it. I honestly, I just wing it. I just feel like you can't do no wrong. But I am going to give you the measurements for these. So I do two different sizes. So this is going to be your largest size, and here it is the width, 10.791, and the height, 0.921. And then the other smaller one, same width, 10.791, but height is going to be 6.685. Now for the larger one, I did do 3. And then for the smaller one, I did 4. Okay, sorry if it's shaky because I'm holding it with my phone. But the nice thing with this one is that we're also going to use the scraps. Okay, and I will show you right now what that looks like. Okay, so here are, so make sure you pull this gently, because again, we're going to be using the scraps as well. Because as you can see, the scraps also have the similar shape. So we want to go ahead and use those. So here are the scraps. And then this is the image. So grab your scissors. Can't find my little ones. Oh, here they are. Okay. So the way that I like to start with my center. So this is optional on how you want to do this. So I kind of wanted the look of starting in the center kind of higher. I don't know if you can see, but do you notice how the center is kind of higher, and then as it goes outer, it's a little bit lower? That's kind of the look that I wanted. Do you see how the center is more up? And then why, I don't know. That's just what I want. That's just what I wanted. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start off with the scraps from the largest image. Okay. So here are the largest right here. So it is the first 3 right here. So I am going to cut these. So these are the scraps of the 3 largest. We're going to start off with those. So I am just going to cut the ends. And also for the other ones, you guys, I used the same amount, obviously, like as I mentioned. You're just going to obviously shrink these down for the smaller ones, okay? So this is just like a guide that I'm showing you how I do it, but then obviously you can do this any way you would like. So now we are just going to start rolling. And this can be a little time consuming just because you are rolling quite a bit of them. So then you're going to get your glue, add glue. So first, again, we're going to start off with the scraps. So then add glue. Watch those fingers. Okay, so these are our scraps from the 3 larger ones. So now we are going to go ahead and then wrap these around. Apologies, my mat is so dirty. Just noticing right now there's a piece of hair of mine. All right, so here is the other one. So that is the end of the larger ones. Okay, so now let's get back to our scraps. So we should have 4 because remember we needed 4 of the smaller ones. And then we're going to repeat the same thing. Cut off the ends. And we are going to repeat. We are gonna, stuck over here. We are going to repeat and wrap the scraps first. And then once we've finished wrapping all 4 of the scraps, we are going to wrap these. So let me go ahead and finish it up and then I will be right back. Okay, you guys, so I have rolled all the centers, so here you go. Do you see how I used the largest first in the center just to give it a little pop, and then the smaller ones, and that's it. That's how it should look. Now you can, if you want, just glue it just like this if you just want a simple center like that. So let me go ahead and add my glue. I'm just going to press it down, hold it for a couple of seconds. So you can leave it like this, just like that, or we can open up, so then we have this kind of like, I don't know, kind of sunflower-ish look. I don't know. So we are just going to press down. Now I have used the center as well for making sunflowers. So now all you have to do is just grab a couple of the outer ones and then just go around. And kind of press down. And voila, that changes the look of the center. So up to your liking if you want the center to look like this or if you just want it to look like this. Personally, I like both. I like the contrast. I think it looks adorable when you have a mixture of both the centers. And yeah, so, and that is it, you guys, how to make these super simple daisies using my template 57. So I hope you found that helpful on how to make the dahlias and these daisies using just one template, template 57. So again, remember, if you have the larger template, you can definitely apply those steps to this, okay? So just follow the same techniques and you can definitely use the larger ones to make these type of flowers as well. As mentioned earlier, for my larger template, I am going to make other refresher video tutorials on how to make the scabiosa flower along with the what was it, the zinnia flower. And those tutorials you can definitely apply to this smaller baby version as well. So I hope you found that helpful. So you can find all my templates on my Etsy or www.ariellesedesigns.com, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye.